絶望は伝染するんだ。
Alright, boom, part two. So what I wanted to start this on, well, continue this on, is that we're in the past, present, and future all at the same time. And what I was talking about before, with the freaking stars, is how we like when it dies, we see it light years later. So using that same concept, we would be in our present, but the stars past, or our present. Our present, but the stars past. And we're gonna we're going into that future, per se. Since the star was light years ahead of us.
Then we're not really in that past, per se. Everything is happening simultaneously. It just takes a certain amount of time for that information to get sent to that, I guess, that distance, to get sent that distance. That's like, it's kind of like, okay, you have a USB with all the information on it, and you gotta upload it into your computer, so you plug it in. It's not gonna instantly just zoom in there. It takes time for the information to process and transmit from one point to the next.
True.
In that kind of way. Like, if the star died, okay, if I look up at a specific star, the star could be dead now. But that's not saying it isn't dead right now. It's just I can't see that it's dead because the light is still, it's still showing, but it's eventually going to cut off. It's just taking a while for the darkness or the cutoff of the light to reach.
Do you think the Earth is gonna run out of natural resources?
Normally, it wouldn't, but at the rate we're going, yes.
Yeah, once that happens,
I mean, honestly, with the increase of population and stuff like that, I can see it happening.
Yeah, I think the Earth is getting way too crowded.
Yeah, the Earth can be infinitely sustaining with a population of maybe 1 million. For everything to be infinite, so you never have a decrease or a drought of resources. And we're at how much, 7 billion or something ridiculous like that.
Yep.
But then out of that 7 billion, you gotta count the people that are actually starving, don't have really no clean running water, poor, homeless.
Alright, water is an infinite resource that we have, though. We can always filter out water from lakes, rivers, and streams.
I mean, if we keep dumping
What do you mean, where is
water?
I'm just talking about okay, so fruits from trees and shit. We'd be able to take all that shit, or animals, and kill animals, and harvest all the shit we need to, without ever causing shit to go extinct, without ever having no more trees of fruit left. We'd be able to drink fresh water without ever having that water be completely drained, and for it would by the time we would have drunk enough of that, it would be enough time for the source to naturally replenish itself. That's basically what it is, because natural resources, it takes a long time for those resources to either come into, or to be made, or to replenish itself. So if we have a finite amount of people that are strictly, they don't consume it past a certain point, the source will be able to replenish itself faster than we will be able to destroy it, essentially.
Yeah,
but
that's why they recommend you
if we wanted
only
to,
have
we
one
can
child.
take out everything, period. Yeah, if everyone has one child, honestly, that'd be for the best. It decreased the population drastically, or in half, really. And we'd have to do that for a couple of generations, and that honestly save the entire race so much.
But that's also like a double-edged sword, because it would also have, like, we would also have less doctors and all that extra stuff. I think the more people,
need as much doctors, because you wouldn't need to treat as much people.
all right, maybe not doctors. I said the wrong one. We'll have less researchers. I think the more people researching these things, the better. Like the things we don't know about.
I mean, yeah, I guess it is a double-edged sword, but I feel like eventually that's gonna need to happen because there are too many people, too many doing not enough. There's not enough for everybody. Because like Jalen said,
So
there are
what
people
you're trying
starving,
to
there are
say
people homeless.
is that we should have a purge to
That's gonna happen eventually.
Yo.
I feel like
On
if
a
the
serious
scientists
note.
come to like,
I
if the
feel like
scientists come
they
to the
wouldn't even
UN,
need to do that. They would
and
just
be
release
like-
some disease.
yeah, I feel like they would
Yo,
have to purge
chill
it.
out. You can't just release these toxins into the earth like that.
Not the
Man
earth.
said forget
Not
Ebola.
necessarily the earth.
It would be like
Is
They
it
AIDS.
just like
cancer?
streamline it into
It-
some food.
It would be like AIDS.
Yeah, have people die
Cause wasn't AIDS
like a
man-made?
black plague.
Imagine, you know what? In a few years, we're about to do what Thanos did. Man said all we have to do is randomly pick half the population to die.
They're random.
Yo,
It's not gonna be random at all, though. I bet.
yeah.
I mean,
Unless- yeah.
if you
no
have
way.
somebody inside the system, yeah, you could
I
probably
feel like
save
what they
yourself.
should do is have the doctors, the researchers, and all the like
and
core
engineers.
people. Yeah, have them like be granted basically existence, and everyone else, you're done.
Yo, I feel like if scientists or somebody came to like Trump or the United Nations and was like, bruh, if we don't kill half our population in the next 5 years, we're all gonna die.
Yo,
They wouldn't release that information to the public, obviously, but I feel
Yeah,
like
they just
slowly
slowly
we're
start
just
killing
gonna,
people.
yeah, and that's crazy.
They'd release mad diseases. There'd be a black plague or something crazy like that come out again,
Mhm.
and then mad people are gonna die, and then everybody's just gonna be chilling.
yo, ain't nobody
And
chilling.
eventually
After
they forget about
somebody-
it. The world's gonna move on.
Huh?
What do you
Yeah.
mean? If people
Take
die
for
from a
example.
disease and they don't know that the government did anything about that, or the government was the one who released it, what are you really gonna do?
It depends actually on, like, if the scientists say you have a year to kill half the population, well, I'm gonna know that the government is doing something. But if the scientists say you have 10 years to kill half the population or 20 years to kill half the population, then we probably won't know.
Even then, how would you necessarily know? What if they just make some crazy deadly shit and just release it?
But if the scientists say we have a year
And
to kill
they-
half the population and niggas just start dropping everywhere, that's
Yeah,
gonna be
with
my,
a massive plague.
yeah, I'm gonna be like, bruh.
So you telling me if a
something-
plague comes out, you're gonna automatically think it's the government?
It's gonna be on my mind though. I'm not gonna automatically think it's them,
Yeah,
but
mind when you're
it's gonna
dying.
be like a possibility.
Yeah, what they do is that they would release that shit, and then after a certain amount of people has died, they would quote unquote release a cure, or say that they made a cure and some vaccines and just make it so that no one else dies from it
That's crazy.
once they met their quota.
But I feel like that's gonna have to happen eventually. At the rate the population is growing and niggas having 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, like no thank you.
Definitely. Like, I see it here too. Like, I work in a records room, so I maintain like the health and medical records of people who work here on base or live here on base or whatever. And like, they be having a lot of kids. because usually I have their records and their kids and wife's or spouse's records, and I've seen some dude with like 10 kids before, and I'm like, what the actual fuck is happening right now?
Like, bro,
Like, people be having way too many kids.
That's why I'm pro-abortion. Well, pro-choice.
Yeah, I'm pro-choice. Like, why would you... Okay, first of all, stay the fuck out of people's business. If someone wants to get an abortion, you shouldn't be like, oh no, you can't do that. Like, excuse me? Are you the person who's carrying this child? Are you the person who's going to be held responsible for this baby?
Yeah, they be wildin'.
Like, that's not you. You got no right to say anything about that. If the person wants to do it, let them do it. If they don't want to do it, don't make them do it. It's as simple as that. I believe that, honestly, if you let it get past a certain point, abortion should no longer be legal. However, I feel like if on the early stages, it should still be allowed. You shouldn't just ban abortions. Especially with this massive population issue that we have now.
Like 7 billion people on this small ass earth?
Way too much. Way too much. Like, we're literally destroying the planet.
Yeah. Especially with all this pollution and shit too.
Yeah.
We're having colder winters and hotter summers.
Mind you, an ice age is long overdue.
Another one?
Yeah. The ice ages have come like frequently within a certain interval, and it's been a while since we had one, and it's probably because human impact.
Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to have one. I don't think we're supposed to die just yet.
I feel like we were supposed to have one, but because of the fucking, what's it called? Our progression and all the pollution and heat that we emit from creating energy and all this extra shit, postponed that shit drastically.
And and before all the religious people, like, God's work. He's stopping the ice age. Jalen, why are you not chiming in?
Fact.
I literally just dozed off.
Bro,
Yo, what?
get Jalen out of here.
Alright, Jalen, you gonna have to talk to you right real quick, because I gotta brush my teeth. I got a really nasty taste in my mouth.
Alright, so what topic are we on right now?
We were talking about how the population is too big, and then Roger said that an ice age is long overdue, and there's supposed to be an ice age like every few hundred years or so, and we haven't had one yet, meaning either the people...
And we're about to be nowhere close to it too with this global warming.
Yeah, that's what you're talking
ice
about.
age, the ice is literally melting in the dang Arctic.
And before, we don't even have an ice age, we have like some fucking heat storm.
We about to have this water age, how about that?
Where like we all drown or some shit. I don't think the sea levels are rising that much to where it's a problem, except for like the tropical areas.
I mean, supposedly the beaches are getting shorter, so what's something?
But like, how do you fix that though?
Down.
All you say is, oh, less population, more recycling, all this extra bullshit.
But what if you can't fix it?
If you can't fix it, then we have to find a way to preserve the planet as long as possible, as well as find a way to go to Mars, because I think that's the next best place.
What are we gonna do on Mars?
Mars is the next best place. Well, actually, I'm lying. The moon is the next best place, but the moon is too small, so we have to go to Mars. Plus, we need the
So, I
moon
mean,
more
why
than we
would
need
we
Mars.
go? Why would we go to Mars or the moon though?
No, because Joshua said, what if we can't stop global warming and the Earth eventually like dies out? I'm saying we would have to leave the Earth and go to Mars. The moon is safer than Mars, but we can't like we need the moon, so we'd have to go to Mars. Apparently Mars is some shit. Hard to breathe, can't do anything on Mars.
Mars is what Earth is about to look like if we keep messing up.
Yep. Apparently it gets extremely hot on Mars too. Like we would all need some like heat resistant suits or whatever.
Is this man peeing next to his headset?
Bruh.
Oh,
Yo, ignore this part in the video. You can skip 2 minutes in the future.
edit that out. Oh, heck.
But
You know how hard it would be to like transport everybody from Earth to Mars?
Exactly, it's almost impossible. We don't
it would
have.
be kind of difficult because the population that we have in right now will be extremely difficult because, in my opinion, if you had to do one ship back and forth, it's gonna be extremely impossible. But if like, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but if the government has like more ships to go back and forth, I think the population will be much easier to go to Mars.
Probably. But once we get there, then what?
Then we
Exactly.
gotta make like new natural resources.
How?
Make natural resources. If we're making natural resources, then it's
The
artificial.
thing is in outer space, because the thing is in outer space, there's nothing on there except for rocks or something like that.
Bruh, if we go to Mars, you know, like, first of all, I feel like half of us would be dead. Not even half. I feel like 3/4 of the Earth's population would die. And like,
Before getting there?
Limited amount of oxygen.
no, not even before getting there. Like, either,
Once we get there?
yeah, once we get there. I
Oh,
don't feel like all of us would be able to
especially
withstand
including
all of that.
Especially including if they have any kind of like diseases and shit. If anyone with any kind of weak immune system goes there, they're done. Especially like if it can support life. There's probably an enormous amount of
All-
bacteria and diseases that
I
you've
feel like
never been
all
exposed to whatsoever.
Unhealthy person or fat person is dead too.
I feel like honestly, you shouldn't even take them to begin with. That's honestly a waste.
Crazy.
Why would you take a sick person to a whole nother planet knowing damn well they might die
I know
when you
every
can take a
unhealthy
healthy
fat
person?
person is dead.
I meant like you shouldn't take them.
Cold.
If you're going to take a limited amount of people, you should take 100% healthy people.
Healthy, fit people that can carry, lift, move, and all that
It's
extra
gonna
shit.
take way too many years.
Yes, that can help do something.
Bro, once we get there, we have to
know
start
that-
mining instantly.
Cause what's the fat person gonna do once they get there?
He gonna be hungry,
What are they
tired.
gonna expect? They're gonna eat a lot of food. They're not gonna do no kind of work.
Mind you, he'll be
They're gonna use all medicine.
he'll be dying quick as fuck. 'Cause you know how hot it is on Mars? He's gonna be sweating all of the water gonna leave
Imagine
on
he's
his
gonna
body and
sweat the
shit.
fat away.
He gonna die skinny.
Burn it off.
He's gonna die from a heat stroke.
Fact.
Crazy.
His
Wait,
body's
yeah.
not gonna be able to. Like
Once we get there,
naturally-
you'd have to start mining for
pain.
resources instantly.
And you'd have to have built people to build some kind of shit, cause you're gonna be living on that shit the whole damn time.
And we would have to fucking
Find water source. You'd have to have people that can go out and explore.
and like I don't even think you would be able to bring materials from Earth.
Yeah, cause that'd be too heavy to carry.
Plus
Probably
the
not gonna
people.
have enough jet fuel to carry that shit.
I mean,
unless it's one dedicated
Maybe
ship.
we might be able to carry like super light, super thin shelters, or maybe bare necessities like food, MREs and shit.
I don't know about no super
like,
light shelters because we're gonna be on Mars. The conditions are way
So yeah,
harsher.
there's not gonna be anything that we can bring that'll be durable enough, other than shit that we.
Unless we're bringing steel and shit,
Everything
which
else
I
we have to
doubt.
build there. Unless what they could do is that they could bring the ship there and then take apart the ship and rebuild that shit into something else. But if that's the case, they would have to have schematics and already a designated plan on what to build using the parts of the ship that they're going to take apart and rebuild the ship with. That's honestly a smart idea.
I feel like the Earth population,
Using the ship and then using that to build some.
our population will drop drastically. Either we're all gonna die out trying that bullshit, or it's gonna be like a few 100,000 of us left. Maybe even a million.
What do you mean? Once we get to Mars?
Yeah.
That's fine. And then from that 1 million, we're gonna evolve. And you see how that all ties back into evolution.
Yep, that's when we'll evolve, because we'll be on Mars in new fucking conditions.
Yeah, only the people that have the traits that are able to survive in those conditions will survive and pass on those traits to their children.
See little like, translation, some traits, meaning all black people surviving. Y'all whites gotta go.
Hello?
Cause Mars gonna be hot as Mars gonna be hot as fuck. Like, you know, I'm proud of you black, you feel me? Y'all niggas go.
Yo. Nigga said if you don't got no melanin, you done.
You're gonna
You
run in
done.
this clip.
Mind you, they gonna make mad white people go too. And all of them gonna die.
You won't see them like sunburn or that extra rash
Facts.
and shit.
Oof, they skin gonna be boiling.
We're gonna be
What's happening?
like, we won't be like protected, like, but we'll be better than
But
them.
we
shit.
have, yeah, we won't be fucking burning to the touch. They're not gonna be white people no more. They're gonna be red people.
Yeah, we'll get darker as well.
Body,
Imagine we like evolve into this race of like charcoalish black people.
Yo, and then we make our way back to Earth to pick up the rest of the black people.
Yeah.
They would do some dumb shit, leave all the black people on there.
Facts.
That's-
And then they all die.
Yeah, like, bruh.
Like, you stupid, right? You know that. You know you stupid. You go in a hot ass place and you don't leave the people that have the natural melanin protection of that shit.
I'd rather commit suicide.
People
Hello,
do
they
that
go to
too.
Mars?
Yeah. That because if you kind of think about it, if you go to Mars, you're gonna die in a slow, well, you're gonna die regardless. But I'd rather commit suicide and stuff like that because the thing is that if you look at either way, you're gonna die regardless.
Yeah, people are gonna do that. People are gonna be so
So
scared.
you don't want to see Mars before you die? You don't want to
Bruh.
see a new planet?
People died
I
just
don't want to see a
because.
new planet.
Because the thing is that I'd rather live to see any other planet.
Bruh, you remember New Year's,
Nigga,
fucking
what?
New Year's
So
Eve,
you gonna kill
1999?
yourself?
Boy, New Year's Eve, 1999. People were so scared of 2000 because the world was supposed to end that they killed themselves.
Yo, you're dead ass?
Yes. Like, the new millennial,
Wow.
2000, new century was so, like, it was so shocking because
What about 2012? Niggas were talking about some crazy shit about 2012.
I don't think 2012 was as bad as the year 2000.
What you mean you don't believe that? I hope you don't believe that. It's 2018 already.
No, I'm saying, I don't think people committed suicide for 2012 was like that
No,
common.
not you. Not you.
Uh.
I was talking about people's, yeah.
Like,
I was talking
I'm pretty
about the
sure
crazy shit about 2012 and you was like, I don't believe that.
people think that in 20, well, people think in 2000 that the world was gonna end, and look what happened. In 18 years, we're still here.
Yeah, so I'm saying people gonna commit suicide just thinking about going to Mars. They gonna be like, I'm not. There's too much stress, too much this, too much that. I'm killing myself.
That's stupid. Honestly, I'd fucking live. I'd go to Mars. I want to see what the fuck is up.
Yeah,
Nigga said Destiny 5.
I would
Bet.
do something.
Be finding them Vex. Say no more.
Imagine.
Atheon's epilogue and prologue.
Imagine all the Destiny players know exactly what the fuck's about to happen.
Yo, fact.
That's a fact.
Nigga said, where my guardian at?
Well, since we're talking about years and shit, so the game fucking Detroit Become Human, they said that 2028 will have androids and shit. Y'all believe that?
I don't know, because they said by 2000 niggas gonna have flying cars.
Alright, they gassed it. I don't think by 2028 we'll have androids. We might have some, but for like,
It wouldn't be like basic. Everybody has one type shit like it is.
it'd probably be like a robot that's only purpose is to like vacuum your floor or something.
We already have those.
It won't be like, oh, you're right. But I mean,
Yeah.
but like humanoid robots.
I mean, anyone can do that if they wanted to. They just have to, if it only has one purpose, they just have to build basic, they'd have to build the thing, like the purpose, program it, which is not hard at all, because we already have machines that do that. And all they'd have to do is just change the hardware to make it look humanoid.
Fuck a android, son. Them like in the game.
They
them
could even
shits
put voice implications on it,
broke
like
out
Siri
their
and shit.
commands.
The only
fuck out of
way,
here.
the only way that fucking to make it like humanoid-esque would be to have a robot that looks like a humanoid and have it with a like artificial self-intelligence.
Hell no. I don't want them niggas to
That's the only way
learn.
to make it a legitimate android.
Yeah, I don't want the niggas to learn. Please no.
And if they have internet connectivity, minus.
They
Because
might.
the niggas can all talk to each other instantly.
They can cause like a blackout. Come fucking murder us.
Yo, fat.
They can revolt against us, like how we did against the white people. Yeah, no thanks. Like, I don't want to tell one of my androids to do something, and they're like, no, and their eyes turn red. They start looking at me like, get out of here.
Yo. Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, like, boy, no, thank you. I'm not ready for all them androids.
I might be strong, but I don't got as much strength as a fucking robot.
Fact, I'm not ready. I'm being nice as fuck to my robot. I don't care.
That still might not even mean shit.
Shit, it did in the game. Fuck it.
Yo. This man Jalen is actually asleep.
Yeah.
It's really wild.
And then she comes out yelling, "Ah!"
Imagine.
Yo, Jalen, you up, Bia?
Imagine.
You up,
Man
bye?
snoring. Nigga like.
Yo.
Nobody died. Yeah.
Money back. Yo. Nah, son. But yeah, this whole shit is crazy, honestly. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. Like, I wonder what's gonna happen to the world when I'm gone.
You're gonna be reborn.
I want to know what the future of everything is going to be.
You're gonna be reborn.
I just want to know everything. You ever want to know everything?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
There's things I don't want to know.
Like what, the future or something like that?
I don't care about the well, kinda, but not really.
Because people
I don't want to know.
they rather travel to the future to see what their future actually be like.
I don't want to know my future.
I want to see my future. I just want to be like I don't know. Like how can I say this? I don't want to see my future because I don't know right now.
You're gonna know when you're gonna die and how you're gonna die, and then you're gonna be paranoid as fuck.
Exactly.
And then that day, you're gonna start doing shit to try and change it. And the fact that, like, bruh, I just can't. Like,
It's gonna be
what
like
if
the
you-
only reason why you die is because you saw that and you started doing shit to change it, but you wouldn't have died if you would never saw that, but because you saw that happened and now you tried and now you died because you
Now,
tried.
imagine you freaking, you dodged death so many times that each time you saw your death, you prevented it so many times that your future, you saw yourself falling asleep and never waking up. You know how scary that is?
Nigga would never go to sleep.
It's impossible. You have to eventually.
I mean, it's possible, but
Like, you can delay it, take as many energy drinks and pills and shit as you want, but eventually you're gonna probably from
Yo.
overdosing on those pills or
your brain
something.
is telling your system that I'm starting to get tired and I need to go to sleep so we can malfunction, right?
You know how scary that is? You've been dodging death this whole time, paranoid as fuck, and you finally see yourself dying in your sleep. And like, every option you have to avoid that leads to you falling asleep. Like overdosing on pills, taking too many drinking too much water, doing all that extra shit.
Minor. At that point, I would probably just kill myself just to have some control over my death.
At that point, I'd be so paranoid and shit. I don't know.
I think some people would.
But not in terms of that. Like, not in terms of knowing your future and shit. Like, I just want to know how human race is going to progress. I want to know what is out there, what kind of shit is out there. Have they encountered us already? What kind of crazy secrets is the government keeping from us? All kinds of crazy shit like that.
Yeah,
How the
wonder
universe
sometimes
really works.
What the government
Is the earth really flat? Is there really a God? What happens once you die? How does that feel? Is that real?
All these questions that people don't know the answer to.
Well, except the government ones. If you rise the ranks enough, you might get some answers.
No, because that stuff is even on a need-to-know basis.
What happened?
I said not really, because that stuff is on a need-to-know basis. I'd have to rise the ranks, raise the ranks, whatever the fuck, and I'd have to be put in a scenario which needs me, or in which I need to know that information, whatever it says. Because even here, your rank doesn't matter if you don't have nothing to do with it. So let's say a sergeant walks in and talking about he wants to see somebody's record. I'm not going to give them their record because they don't need to see their record. They don't have no kind of written consent or anything like that. It could be a general even. I'm not going to give him a record. A 4-star general walks in to ask me to see somebody's record. I'm not giving that to him, and I'm not supposed to give that to him.
Well,
it's not only rank. You need to have, occasionally, more than likely, you're going to have rank, you're going to need to have the clearance, and you're going to have the need to know. So you're going to have like the super top secret clearance and the need to know. Meaning in order for you to perform your duties, it has to directly correlate to that. And you have to know about that.
also, once you find that information, once you know that information, you're gonna be even more fucking paranoid. You can't tell anybody. You can't say anything.
Yeah. And if you find out, and if somebody find out that you told somebody, you're done.
You can't tell nobody by phone.
What is the
either.
worst? Yeah. The only possible way would to be to tell somebody in person with all electronics removed from the area.
And hopefully, they don't tell nobody.
Facts.
Like, you would have to trust them that much that they don't say anything.
Facts.
I wonder, what if somebody said something by accident that was like actually true? I wonder if like the government would like, automatically turn on a ping on them or something.
Yo.
And like check all their search history and like all that stuff.
Minus.
It's like I'm like, what if the government did blah 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 and aliens are real and blah 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 and that just happened to be real, and all of a sudden my phone just starts sending out a ping to the government, my PlayStation sends out a ping, everything sends out a ping. They check my search history on each device to make sure I'm not actually looking up stuff. We're trying to find out the truth.
Minus. And then on top of that, they check the search history of every person you've ever encountered.
Yep, and then people start following me.
Yep, minus. But you would never know.
True. Unless I just...
So you probably have said something that's true. And they probably have done that already.
I doubt it. Like, what are the chances of me saying something that's that pinpoint accurate? Because I feel like in order for them to monitor you, you would have to be so accurate. Like saying something
I
that's
know
like...
that an alien landed in LA, Nevada.
Yeah, like what? You would have to be so accurate to the point where they're like, hold on, that's too, like, accurate.
2005, May 32nd. I mean 25th.
Yeah.
Because the 32nd isn't a day.
Or, you know, sometimes they, or I'm not gonna say that.
Boom, now I got a ping.
Or they might come kidnap you.
Minus. They gonna fuck around and say I got killed in the Air Force.
Interrogate you, ask you what you know. You don't know anything. They can't send you back outside because you're obviously onto something.
Facts, because you got interrogated. Now you gonna tell people you got interrogated. They like, what did you say? Why'd you get interrogated? What they asked you about? Oh, word? If you wasn't right, they wouldn't have interrogated you.
I mean, if that would have happened, there would have been two possible things. It's either execution or probably stay in jail for like a...
They won't lock you up. They can't lock you up. Why are they locking you up for?
They could probably use
one
you.
option, dead.
They could probably use you.
Yeah. So,
to make energy. Bicycle. And a container. Sucker full of people.
They'll probably
in similar scenarios.
Or kill you.
Or make you...
They'll kill you and fake your death.
For human experiments.
They'll
probably fake your death and just... They'll probably fake your death, keep you contained, or use you for human experiments, or kill you on the spot. But honestly, I feel like option 1 or 2 would be better. Because the world would still think you're dead, and you're still just doing whatever the fuck for them. So in which case, you benefit them, everyone still thinks you're dead.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And before a red beam comes through all 3 of our windows.
Yo!
It's like, shut up. Best believe I'm not going to sleep if I see that shit.
Yo.
I'd be shook.
Man. Nigga see a sniper red dot on his desk, line up to him. Not even. Dude got a mirror. He look at himself in the mirror, the dot right between his eyes.
No. I can't, son. That's why government shit is too... I'm not built for that. I would have to tell somebody. I'd go crazy.
I would say you could tell me, but you know, I'd have to fly out there for that.
Especially if it's fucking something that's not right or like corrupt, I would have to tell somebody. Like, you know how like the guy told Edward Snowden said that they listen to your phone calls.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I think he moved to Russia when he said that, so he's fine.
Actually, that shit might be true because that shit probably be terrifying.
Wait, what's true?
That when other people listen to your calls and shit like that.
That is true. He revealed it and moved
Hell yeah.
out the country so that he couldn't get arrested or anything.
He probably did get killed, but nobody said nothing anymore.
He moved to a different country. I don't know. What are you listening to? This man Roger.
Yo. Nah, it's an outtake from X's, what's it called? His XXL freshman.
Yo, speaking of XXX, I think that man shouldn't have died in Miami.
He shouldn't have died. It was too.
He said he what?
Too early.
That's crazy.
You
Awkward.
said you feel
It's
like
weird
he
'cause
shouldn't
people-
have died?
I said, I think that XXX should have not died in Miami. Because whoever killed XXX are real scumbags.
Everything happens for
There
a
was this
reason.
one dude gloating about it. There's someone who got arrested and shit,
I seen that one dude talking
and
about
there
it.
are warrant for 2 more
where,
people.
where, like
The
guy was
one
like,
dude in like the red mask and
yeah,
shit.
that dude's like, please don't. I got people. Yeah, I'm not. I seen it.
That nigga pissed me off.
I
Real
was-
talk.
I was angry.
I'm like, honestly, if I was there and I heard you saying that shit, I'd fucking blow your brains out.
I wouldn't.
He
I
has
wouldn't.
no remorse for human life. He
I
don't give a fuck. He over there talking about he gonna kill other people.
I told him. He was like, I already got him. I'm like, what?
Oh, yo, fat, torture him. That's even better.
I'd make him scream for mercy.
And then I'd mock him. Oh, please no, huh? Please no more, right, bitch?
Yo, I hate
Rip
that.
his fucking fingernail off.
I hate that justice shit. Talking about dude, let him be locked up forever. No, fuck that. He needs to feel clean.
Fuck a locked up, yeah. Fuck a locked up
I mean,
forever.
he'll
Make that
still be
nigga
locked
beg
up
for mercy.
just after I'm done torturing him.
Yo, fat. After I torture this nigga, cut his toes off. After taking his toenails off first.
Mind you, he's getting a
Rip a couple teeth out his
he's
mouth.
getting a bi-weekly torture. He will
Yo.
every Saturday, every Friday night he will start crying thinking about Saturdays because he knows it comes back.
Yo. Minus.
he might. I'll make him off himself.
That's really some shit. I'd torture the fuck out that nigga. Like, what? Why are you bragging about that? Like, how fucking stupid are you? I swear, yo. Some people, I would humble that nigga with all the torture.
Alright, we got about 11 minutes. Anything else y'all want to talk about?
Honestly, I feel like there's not much that we can, like, there's not another conversation that we can start that probably be finished in 11 minutes. Honestly, I don't remember the original topic.
We talked about evolution, space, time, religion for a little bit, the ocean, androids, flying cars, resources, going to Mars, and now this.
Government corruption, government tracking, government all kind of shit.
I don't want to talk about the government honestly, because I feel like they actually have the resources to start listening. And plus you're in the government, so I don't know.
Facts.
I think that discussion will be later.
I think that was a calm part 2. Although we will need, I feel like we would need more people to provide more intellectual input and more.
Like, if we had at least more people.
Not more people. Just like four people is a good number, but they all have to provide enough input to where the conversation is intellectual yet can be, you know, funny at the same time, but not like the same people spitting the intellectual stuff and then other people are just there for jokes. Like, everyone needs to contribute to a group discussion on the topic to provide meaningful input. And then we just all need to know when to joke around as
In
well.
order to talk about the government, we would have to have, like, first, we'd have to stream it. 2, we'd have to have people watching. Just in case something did happen.
3, we'd have to have a fan base. Some kind of
in case
protection
something
towards
did
us.
happen.
That way if we all get smited, niggas know.
They'd be like, hold on a minute. This happened because of this. Because, like, even if our live stream gets taken down, those people would know.
Facts. That's the one we got a couple million subscribers, so not right now. You imagine?
LOL. Just in case one of us happens to say something that's actually true.
Facts. And eventually, one of us gonna get smitten,
Collapse.
which is wild.
Mm-hmm. You got 8 minutes left. You can say anything you want.
Reality is an illusion. The universe is, you know, it doesn't exist.
Hey, what doesn't exist?
You're inside a simulation, inside a simulation,
I'm
inside
weak.
a simulation. Yo.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Minus.
Alright, this could probably be quick for 7 minutes. You think people could have artificial powers?
Artificial powers, what do you mean by that?
Like superpowers.
Like any sort of powers.
Alright, like not no fucking like shit like Sharingan. But like
No, I know what you're talking about, like flying, super speed, super hearing,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would say yeah.
Hmm.
If people would have like superpowers, they'd be able to like travel faster instead of using like trains and shit like that.
I feel like that can be possible. It would just have to be, like, for it to be like realistic, it'd have to be based on a random mutation.
If it was a mutation, it wouldn't be artificial.
Oh, so what do you mean by that then? Like, you can give people powers?
Like, you know how you can watch Boondocks and like Huey for Bushido Brown? He had a glove that produced electricity.
Oh, with our thing, a right arm or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that episode, yeah.
That would kind of be like
that.
artificial.
Oh, like Iron Man type shit?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at that point, it's just a point of science and you being able to scientifically put that shit together. I don't see why the fuck not.
Alright, but
Like, I'm pretty sure if I dedicated my life to it, I would be able to build some kind of suit or some kind of machine that can amplify power or can have some kind of energy source to emit some super crazy amount of energy that can destroy something.
But now, do you think we can have a genetic mutation, like Spider-Man?
I feel like, well, I don't know about Spider-Man, but I feel like genetic mutations can be possible, such as like a random mutation that doesn't allow your body to limit itself to like 80% of its physical power. Although that mutation can be positive and harmful at the same time. Like there's cases of people who are not able to feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a random mutation.
Like the people that fry chicken with their hands.
It's good, but it's a bad thing because if something's wrong, you don't know. Like if you were to get fucking punched in the stomach and you're internally bleeding, you would never know it because you don't feel that pain. But that's technically a mutation.
Yeah, because people got, I know in certain parts of certain worlds or something like that, or in our country, people don't feel pain at all, which I think that's kind of confusing, because I'm thinking that in their system, in the brain, well, the nervous system, obviously, I'm thinking that they don't feel any internal pain at all, like broken bones or getting shot at or stuff like that.
Alright, Roger. So you know how in plants, so you know how like you could take a piece of a plant and then replant it and it'll be like the same plant, kinda?
Well, I guess. I mean, if you take a leaf, I don't know how that works, but
Alright, no, not like the like physical leaf. I mean like the genetic DNA makeup of the plant.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
You could also do that with people.
Yeah. So you think that we'll be able to like
Clone people,
instead
yeah.
of it being a genetic mutation, you think we could make it like a manual mutation? Like we can input, like we can like change the genetic makeup of a person and they'll gain superpowers?
Okay.
Or
I don't know about change the genetic makeup of a person who's already alive, but I feel like you can definitely, okay, you can artificially make the human. So I feel like you can do, like, okay, you know how you can make a genetic clone of an animal by taking the DNA from something, putting that DNA into like the embryo or whatever, or the cells, and making that, and then giving that, like planting that into an egg, and then making that, what's it called, be made or incubated or whatever. Like they actually clone animals, like Dolly the sheep or whatever the fuck that sheep name is. They actually physically clone animals, like clone their DNA. You can do that with humans as well. People just don't do that because it's controversial. Because like people are always gonna be like, oh, you're playing God, shit like that, blah blah blah. So I feel like if you can choose to make a person from like DNA, from someone else's DNA, if you have someone that has that random genetic mutation, you would be able to copy their DNA and make someone else like that. And also I feel like if you can do that, and if you have advanced enough technology and knowledge of the subject, you would be able to alter that DNA to give it all kinds of mutations. However, that would take a lot of experimenting, and I feel like fucking with somebody's DNA and creating a human with a randomly fucked up DNA just in hopes that it has some kind of superpower, it'd probably be really gruesome and no one would ever know that something like that exists.
Niggas about to start going ghost like Jenny Phantom.
Yo, nigga said God. I mean, fathers be doing that already. Now let me stop.
That's crazy. I don't know, fam. I just feel like humans aren't evolved enough.
Well, why not? We can do whatever we need to just with our brains.
Alright, fuck that. I need some wings, B.
That's where we evolved our minds.
I need some wings.
Our brains are evolved so that we can do what we need to do without having to physically evolve. That way we don't have to die out for our race to continue.
I guess.
That's why there's so much diversity within our race.
But like, imagine though.
I mean, that would be nice, but there's not really a point in really thinking about that now because that would happen over the course of millions of years, and we wouldn't see that change.
True.
Who the fuck is
Maybe
watching
in a
Pirates of the
million years
Caribbean?
after human civilization, maybe after a few years of human civilization, if we still have that documentation to look back on how we are now, maybe we'd see that there's some kind of change. But I feel like that'd be a long way out in the future. And if that does happen, I don't know. I feel like we really wouldn't. I don't think we would even survive that long. And if we do, I feel like that wouldn't really be that big of a deal because it'd be so subtle that those people would be the norm. And right now it would be like how we look at Neanderthals. Okay, we came from them. We changed a little bit. And if you look even further back, you can say everyone who ever existed came from arthropods. And that's a really drastic change from arthropods to human beings.
Who the fuck is watching Pirates of the Caribbean?
Hello? I don't hear nothing.
You watching Pirates of the Caribbean?
No.
Mind you, who the fuck is this Pew Pew Yuri and and fucking Inara? This nigga has 2 accounts and they're both in here.
No, that's his game shared account.
And he not talking on neither of them, and this nigga Jalen's snoring.
I will end this part 2 of the
Yo,
debate.
wait, listen, you hear this man snoring?
I hear him breathing.
I know I heard him snoring.
Yeah, I hear him breathing a little bit. Anyway, this ends part 2 of the debate. Not even debate. We aren't even arguing. Discussion about random shit. Might be something I do weekly or bi-weekly or something. I don't know. Next week there'll probably be a topic or something that we can, like, let's challenge ourselves to create a topic and talk about it for an hour.
Yeah. And if y'all have any suggestions, feel free to comment below. Let us know something you want to hear us talk about, but it has to be something that we can actually
well, shit, if you made it to the end of this, congratulations, because this is going to be nearly 2 hours of footage.
Facts. And if you just watching this, you gotta go back to part 1 to see where it all started, obviously.
Facts, part one was much better, because niggas wasn't sleeping shit.
Yeah. This man Jalen wasn't snoozing.
The only 3 people that actually talk about stuff.
Also, Borderlands 2 next week as well, so, yeah. Dude, the weekend's about to be lit.
Internet up. Facts, and I'm about to be done with my fucking test.
Alright, later.